Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back to another episode of Perspectives with Big Bro. I'm your host, comedian Lonnie.
I'm the Flash.
Today, we're going to have a real good discussion. We got the topic of marriage on this third week of the March Madness. I hope y'all been tuning in. We done had the dating, we had divorce, and now we got marriage. The big M. And I got some
Not the
married. Not the little one, the big one. We got some brothers here with me. I got Dadisi over here, married 36 years, longer than I've been alive. And then I got my brother Joe over here. How long?
Going on 9.
Going on 9 years. So we gon' get into this conversation. First off,
This series sponsored Havana Cigars Atlanta's, man, conveniently located at 398 Auburn Avenue in the heart of Atlanta. They got free parking, the whole nine, man. Come enjoy good smoke, good vibes, anytime that you need. But we got something special going on. Every Wednesday, using code GCG, and you buy 2 cigars, you'll get a free cup of traditional Cuban coffee. Very authentic, very smooth. Come enjoy your vibes, man. In between those work meetings, come down to Havana Cigars, man. Pop open your laptop, enjoy the free Wi-Fi. They got everything you need. So if you're a Perfecto, Belisco, Connecticut, medium smoke, or bold smoke, they got what you need, man. Havana Cigars Atlanta, 398 Auburn Avenue. Use code GCG when you're shopping. And again, come and enjoy the experience. Let's get it.
how y'all brothers doing?
Doing good.
Doing good. This pollen's trying to kill me, but other than that, I'm good.
But did you die?
No, I did not. I did not. Not yet.
All right, we're gonna jump right into it now. The first question I want to start off with is, if you could describe marriage in one word, how would you describe it?
Work.
I was gonna say yeah.
Work.
Okay, go ahead, elaborate a little bit on that for us. You know what I'm saying?
So many directions to go with that, but I would just say that when I say work, it is not this romanticized Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Goldilocks, that Disney thing. That's not what marriage is.
What?
Not at all. I know, it's shocking. Exactly. But I would say the work is when two people decide to get married, they have to be ready for the work involved with being with each other, the work involved with the business aspects of the marriage, because there is a business which has to do with the financial, the parental aspect of a marriage if they decide to have children, and then the two of them. As someone who's married and has 4 kids, the biggest piece of advice that I give people who are talking about getting married, I said, if you have children, your children do not come before your marriage. Your marriage comes first. You put your marriage first, the children benefit from that immensely because they see a good relationship between that man and that woman. But if either of you decide to put those kids before the marriage, your marriage is going to get messed up because as humans, someone is going to feel left out. So as men, we know, it's sort of like if the sex was that good before we got married, it needs to stay that good while we're married. But there are also things that come over time that may change the dynamics of that, especially when children are involved. And as you grow, you got to be mature enough to know that the work that you started with is not the work that you're in, and it's not the work at the end, so to speak. It's a constant churn. So I don't want to take over the conversation, but it's a constant churn.
Because you'll get us cut off.
Right.
You might get us cut off.
Yeah, I ain't gonna get you cut off.
That's what I was gonna say. It's continuous.
Yeah,
it
it's
ain't like
continuous.
a project that you complete and it's over. You continuously working at it.
Hey, every day is a new job. It's a new opportunity.
Absolutely. And I would also add to that work thing is we've got to reframe, specifically in the Black community, why people get married. Right? Why do you get married? What is the purpose of it?
So why?
And if anybody says to me, well, I'm in love, I'm like, that's no reason to get married. Because there's a difference between being in love and loving someone. Loving someone is unconditional. Warts and everything, you love it all, right? Because you deal with it. Being in love is temporary. Today I'm in love, tomorrow I'm not. And if your marriage is based on that, that marriage won't last.
What Tina said, what love got to do
What
with it,
love
huh?
got to do with it. And culturally speaking, you know, as a Nigerian American, people in the other parts of the world don't get married for love. They get married for practical, very practical reasons. Number one, having a family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And building community.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this before you kind of go on. Where do you think that ideal comes in where Black Americans is changed from other cultures, and where do we kind of adopt that from?
Well,
if you could say?
propaganda, the propaganda of marketing. If you think about Disney, and I'm using Disney specifically because Disney created, you know, over 100 years ago, this romanticized notion of relationships. Hollywood is a part of that as well, you know. And so when you think about it, as a young person watching television, watching movies, you're being messaged to that this is how a relationship should go. Now, you fast forward to now, social media has put that on steroids. So if you're constantly intaking your value in life from social media and what people are telling you online, and you're not actually talking to real people who have been through it, we were talking about that earlier, that shifts the way that you look at reality and what you're expecting in a relationship. I'll stop there because, again, I got a lot to say, but
I mean,
I don't really...
no, we love it because it's funny. It's funny that I'm just sitting here. It's funny because you said all this stuff. Because I've been saying this stuff for 200 some episodes, and everybody looks at me like I'm crazy. They be like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "You don't get married for love.
No.
You get married for duty and understanding." Like this. What is your why? Why are we here?
Exactly.
Like, we're here because it's like the opposite sex pushes monogamy on us, and be like, okay, you want me to marry you? You want to be my end all be all? Can you be that? And it's truthfully, no one can. But the thing is, you're telling me that, hey, I belong to you, but you belong to you, but I'm responsible for you.
Well, I would say this. When you said belong, and to your earlier question, in American culture, there's this sense of ownership. It all goes back to slavery. And I know some people probably will watch and say, oh, everything. No, it does.
It does.
The culture of America started off with an ownership culture. I'm going to come somewhere that I am not indigenous to. I'm going to take what I want and I'm going to own it, right? So when you think about how people think about marriage, there's an ownership mentality. I don't own my wife.
No.
And she don't own me. I have a commitment to her. She has a commitment to me. But we don't own each other. And I don't try to control her, meaning as an adult, adults are going to do adult things. So if you are spending your day sending me 20 messages and me doing the same thing, that's a control function. That's not about checking on you. And a lot of people don't understand that. But I would also say, in what is the why? My why was when I met my wife, you know, I had been dating for a while. Prior to her, my last episode of dating, that relationship wasn't a great one. It went bad. But I was at a point in my life where I was ready to build a family. Notice I didn't say I was ready to fall in love. I was ready to build a family. And in my worldview, you don't build a family as a man without a wife. In my worldview, my children deserve to have both parents at home, period. And so I jokingly said to you guys earlier when we were setting up, divorce was never an option for me, ever. And the reason why, because I made a commitment. Until the last one turns 18 and leaves the house, I'm here every day. Now afterwards, once we become empty nesters, if we look at each other and say, you know what, we've done a good job, we've grown in different directions, let's do something else, that's different. We didn't do that. And so, you know, to that overall point, I think people have to go into the notion of marriage with a more realistic and pragmatic view of what it is they're trying to do. For me, it was about building family, building legacy, and being a part of a community. And if I'm a part of a community and my children are a part of the community, hopefully they replicate the same thing in what they do when they go on and have their own families. So.
And believe it or not, all right, I'm just saying, I told Lonnie, I said that was the difference between then and now. because it's like if you build a community, like say if your best friend lived in the house there, and their best friend lived in the house there, and now you own the whole. Then it's your community. Everybody else knows that, but us. And it's like this. And when you raise your kids in the same thing, now your kids can they over there, they know you, they know what you stand for,
Right.
and you know what they stand for, and it's a lot of.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing is here in America, and this is not simply just about black people, but Americans as a whole, marriage is an individual pursuit. Whereas in other parts of the world, marriage is a family pursuit.
Yep.
Individuals don't get married, families
get married.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why the statistics of prearranged marriages have a lesser divorce rate than marriages that are built off of individual decisions. Because there's so much vetting that happens up front from each side of the family, right? The potential bride's family vets him and his family. The potential groom's family vets her and her family. And when they get married, it's about the family coming together. Because now you're building something, you're building community.
Yeah.
Now it's, well, I don't care what my mom and dad think. I'm gonna marry him.
That's what Jesus.
That girl fine. I like her.
That's what
I'm
I
gonna marry
did.
her.
That's what I did.
But what about her
That's what I
family?
did. That's what I did.
But what about her family? Or what about his family?
That's
Yeah.
what I did.
And,
That's
you
what I
know,
did.
my kids used to tell me growing up, especially my oldest daughter when she was growing up, that I was too old-fashioned. Because I was one of those, like when she started dating, I need to meet the parents of whoever you're dating or whoever's responsible for whoever you're dating. I need to meet them in real life, not a phone call.
Yeah.
Yes.
I need to see them.
Put them eyes on them.
Put my eyes
Yes.
on him.
Yes.
And I need to meet him. And we need to have a conversation. And so I did that with both my daughters. With my sons, I did the same thing. So nobody could come to me and say, well, you only did that with you. No.
Yeah.
I did that with my boys too, because with my boys, I was actually even more concerned.
Yeah, because they carry your last name.
They carry my name, but also as young black men growing up in American society, there's a lot of pressures that they have to deal with that black women don't have to deal with. And young black girls have their own set of pressures. Some of them are similar, but many of them are very different. And their mindsets, their kind of their worldview about how they see certain things, it changes as well, right?
Yeah.
So I think all of that, when you're talking about marriage, has to be a part of these discussions. Now, another place that kind of that premarital stuff happens is in churches. Like if you're religious and you're a Christian, you go to premarital counseling and all of that. But a lot of people won't do it. I'm like this. In today's world, I told all my kids, prenup. I don't care who it is. You get a prenup, you write it out. And you have an understanding that what we go into this with together
Is what we leave with.
That's what we leave with.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Okay. So first marriage, that first and only marriage, as you said.
Yeah, ain't gonna ever be another one.
Ain't gonna be no Death Row Records, baby. Death Row. And what about you, Joe?
So this is my third. So I got married. My first 2 times I consider myself too young.
Okay.
I was in the military, so I got married in the military. It lasted about a year. Then once I got out of the military, transitioning back home and stuff, I got married again, and that one lasted for about 4 years. So this marriage, I got married in my 30s. I feel like I was in a better place, more mature, and
What would you say is something that surprised you your first time getting married that you may have not been aware of?
so in my first marriage, I actually went into it with the mindset that, hey, if this don't work out, we can get a divorce. That was my mindset going in, and it shouldn't have been that mindset, but just things happen. You know, at the time, my girlfriend got orders to go overseas, and we were in the stateside in Arkansas, so it was like, if I let her go, you know, would I be okay with seeing her gone? You know, because the long distance wasn't gonna work. So I took a chance on marriage, and we had issues beforehand. I figured, hey, a new place, a new environment, things would be different. Orders ended up getting canceled. We ended up not going anywhere, and so that was it. But knowing that it's work, it's selfless. Marriage is selfless. You gotta sometimes get past your feelings and think about the other person's feelings, and that can be difficult sometimes, getting past your own feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
and considering someone else. That's what it's all about. Like, it's funny that you say I have these conversations every day with all my groups of friends. So everything you say to me is like,
yeah, it's not new.
It's not new. It's not this.
Yeah.
I supposed to know who that person is, and vice versa. Like, I got a younger sister, so I was like that with her. Like, she come home with a boyfriend.
Right.
I'm like, who is him? So we meet. So we met his, and then they married. They've been married for years. You know what I'm saying? 2 kids, nice house, nice family. Keep going. But in our community, to your point, is we don't do that often. We go the opposite direction. This is what I want. This is what I want to do. This is what I believe, and that's why our divorce numbers are so high, because we're not vetting properly, and we don't know the other person to a certain extent. We don't even know where they come from. Like, when you sit, like, when I'm dating a woman, even now, dating a woman, spending time with a woman, getting to know a woman, even now being divorced, I can sit back and think about all the girls I dated. And when I listen to their conversation about how they grew up, their mother, their father, they this, they that, I'd be like, oh, I see why it didn't work. And then I think about me, I'm like, nah, that wasn't gonna work. Well, and I can reflect on myself, I'm like, oh.
Well, home life matters.
Home life really, it matters.
One of the things is, I mean, if we keep the conversations talking about black men in America, there's a recognition that's lost in our community around black authority. So,
For sure.
if a young lady grows up in a household with a single mom who may or may not have multiple kids by multiple men, but she never sees a consistent male figure in her life, her ability to recognize black male authority and masculinity is going to be difficult. The same thing is true of young black boys, because I see it with the mentorship work that I do. They don't know how to deal with black authority. And the first reaction they have is to buck up. Now, part of that is normal. Like, as you're going through adolescence and stuff, you buck up to male figures as a boy growing up. But it is to the point where they can't take a word, they can't take anything from black men who are men who have their best interests at heart, but have an authoritative way in which they do things. You know how that is in the military, right? Military, you get your MOS, you take orders. If you're an enlisted, if you're NCO. If you're an officer, you still take orders, but it's different, right? And in our households, we have to have realistic expectations around what the relationships are, right? And what is it that you're trying to get out of it? My thing has always been, I'm extremely supportive of my wife. My wife has more degrees on paper than I do, right? And anytime she says, I want to do this, I'm like, okay, let's look at what it takes for you to do it. And I support it without question. I'm not asking her a bunch of questions. I'm just saying, be sure that this is what you want to do, so we're not wasting family resources on this. And she doesn't waste them. She's like, no, this is what I'm going to do. I support it. If I want to do something, and I'm an entrepreneur, and trust me, anybody who understands being an entrepreneur,
Come on now.
that's struggle. That's struggle life.
20 years.
What?
Right.
What?
And you got to have a partner, your wife or your girlfriend who's just with you, or your fiance, whatever you want to call it. They got to be with you through that whole process, right? Because everything they won't see up front. You're not even seeing everything up front. You're still working through it. So I think all of that plays a role. And I think, you know, when you start talking about this marital thing, because I thought about this before I came over here. I was watching a show on YouTube. It's called The Diary of the CEO. And this British guy does this podcast. It's typically 2.5 hours, where he's talking to some pretty high-powered people. And one of them was a divorce attorney, and the other one was a relationship, not relationship coach. This woman is a certified psychologist, right? Them are the only people I listen to. If you tell me you got coach at the end of your name, I don't listen to you, because you ain't never done nothing. And so both of them said something interesting. They talked about marriages, and they said, look, people walk into marriages with unrealistic expectations. Women think that the marriage and the wedding is only about them. What I told my daughters and my children specifically, but my daughters specifically, when you decide to get married, whoever he may be, it's his wedding too.
Ooh.
Well, you preaching today.
Not his too.
It's his too.
No, not two people married together.
Come on now.
And I think the other piece is to that consideration thing that you were talking about. You have to consider both sides and why are we going into this. Now I'll tell you this: some people ain't cut out for marriage.
No,
that's
Jesus.
the other piece, right? Everybody ain't meant to be married because everybody can't handle the load of that relationship. And I tie that also into this incessant conversation around toxic masculinity. I still don't know what that is.
Neither do we.
Right.
No one does.
And so for me, masculinity is not toxic, just like femininity is not toxic, right? To me, if a man is toxic in his masculinity, well, he's not masculine in the first place. If you got to be walking around rah-rah with your chest all poked out, yeah, I got questions about you anyway. Because a real man is not carrying himself in that way. And he doesn't have to be loud or obnoxious to have authority in what he's saying. I'm a jokey kind of guy. Like I crack jokes on everybody, but I tell people, even when I'm joking, I'm serious. You have to know me well enough to know that, oh, Dadisi said something, he was actually very serious about it. And I think when we talk about this marriage thing, I question why people are even getting married now. Like, what is your why? And I'm not noticing a lot of people who can really, because if you're getting married to get divorced, don't get married.
They can't even tell you their why. Like, and when they tell you something, it sounds so unrealistic and so fluffed. You be like, like, that ain't it.
Which leads me to my next question. Why did y'all say yes to y'all current spouses? What was the thing that kind of, personally, that, made you say yes?
Joe?
For me, it was a family. I had got to that point where I was big on family. I wanted family. And then my wife, which was my girlfriend at the time, she was my biggest cheerleader. Like, anything I wanted to do, and she was behind me. She helped make me a better person. Like, you don't need nobody that, even when you're wrong, they don't tell you you're wrong. You need somebody that can hold you accountable. And she held me accountable. She helped me just become a better person, and I saw that in her. So that's what made me know that this was the one. Okay. Like he said, even now, we don't always like each other, but at the end of the day, I love him.
But you ain't gonna like each other half the time. You gonna be sick of her.
Hey,
sick of this one.
Facts. My wife and I didn't like each other this weekend, and we got over it. Because I'm one of those, I don't believe in that going to sleep angry. Or leaving the house angry and coming back to the same energy. So I'm like, whatever.
Let's figure it out.
Yeah, whatever we got to talk about, let's figure it out. Let's get it out in the open. But my why was really about something I said earlier. I wanted to have a family. Like, I'm an only child. So being an only child, and it's more to it than that. I'm an only child who is the oldest grandchild on both sides of my family. Okay. So I got first cousins who are the same age as some of my kids.
So you was alone for a long time.
I was alone for a long time. And so being the oldest grandchild, I was also almost like the youngest child of my, grandparents.
Your grandparents.
You follow me? Like that kind of thing. I got aunts and uncles who they're like not that much older.
They're like your brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Some of them close to it. I mean, we always understood the difference, but I mean, I'll be 60 next year. And so when I think back on that, I ask myself, what did I want to do? Well, one, I wanted to have a bunch of kids. Because I love kids, as long as they don't live with me. And they don't live with me no more, so I love them even more. But no, I wanted 6 kids. I wanted 3 of each. And I needed to have 3 of each so that I could have backup in case 2 of them were crazy. Right? Because you gotta have backup. Because you can have kids all grow up in the same house with the same parents, and they're all very different.
Like
right?
night and day, yo.
I wanted 6. I had 4. I was given permission to have the other 2 with somebody else, because she said she wouldn't spit no more babies out. They were all natural births, so she was like, "Yeah, my body is done," and I'm like, I respect that, right? But that was a big why for me, is that I got married because I wanted to have family. Now notice you didn't hear me say I got married to her because I was in love with her. Not at all. And I wasn't not in love with her. I love her. You feel me? So
Yeah.
it was like this. I met a woman that I knew I could build with, like from the jump. We were crystal clear. This is what we gonna do. We gonna do it together. We might hit some bumps in the road, but we'll work it out wherever we can. And you know, when I talk to a lot of my male friends through their experiences, it is rare these days that you meet someone that's ready to build
With you.
Come on
right?
now.
When I talk to my oldest daughter about her relationships, when she chooses to share, I hear a theme, and I've heard it from other 30-something-year-olds. You want ready mix. You want to pour it in a bowl, pour some hot water on it,
And this-
stir it up,
and
and it's ready.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
That's the easy bake oven culture.
Nah, bro, it's not real. I told my daughter, I said, the person I am now, which I'm very happy and pleased to be in the space that I'm at now in this time of my life, I wasn't that person 30 years ago. And had you met me 30, 40 years ago, you probably wouldn't like me. I was a very different guy back then. I was running through them, bro.
Man, hey,
It was like a revolving door.
Yeah.
hey, let me tell you something.
You know what it is at Morehouse. You know how, like, it was a revolving door. And so I had to cut all of that out. And then, you know, over time, you start looking at how much work you're putting into dating multiple women,
All those different relationships.
all those different relationships.
And like
Got different
all of them
energy.
taking different energies from you. And,
Different resources.
And you
Boy.
don't, and
and money out your pocket.
your resources
But-
like this, and emotionally and financially, not even just finances,
Yeah.
emotionally, spiritually, because you meet so many women and they're not finished products as well, and you find yourself pouring into different women, but you don't got no more in your cup for you, because those women don't pour back into you. And when you talk to them, all they looking for is for your hand. They ain't looking for to give you nothing. They looking to take everything from you, because they've been taught back to the Disney that that's what you supposed to do, because they're them.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And I would add one more thing, and this, because I don't want any women watching this podcast to think, oh, they're only talking about women. And no, I'm harder on my critiques of black men than I ever am on black women. For me, with a lot of black men who want to be respected and treated with, you know, certain, you know, gravitas by the women in their lives. But I'm like,
Look how you operate.
look how you operate, bro. You're unreliable. You'll
Bruh.
say you're gonna do something, you
Don't
never
show
follow up with it. You don't show up.
Let me just say, I don't know what it is, but my peers and underneath it, some of the most faulty leadership skills, personalities. I'm like,
Because
would you follow you?
Because honestly, they never led anything. It's like, and the thing is, they was taught how to be leaders from
Yeah.
their mothers or their fathers.
Yeah.
They've been taught how to be doers.
Yeah.
So now you just you got a lot of baby boys. You got a lot of boys now
We
who
call them soy boys.
so
Soy boys.
so you got a lot of them, and now they want to be married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's like, then they meet women and they figure I need a pedestalize her, and I need to do all of this stuff to her to make her like me back. You can't
But
chase nobody and want them to follow you.
No.
yeah, it don't work.
It don't work that way. You can't. It's like, you know, like honestly, I've been like last week talking. I've been divorced for 10 years, and everything you said, I knew that then, but I didn't have any men around me to reassure me that I was right.
That's what I'm gonna say. Mentors, like
So
you said, about the mentorship.
so and the mentor I had died. My uncle died. So I'm like, God, okay, good girl. School, she got checklist, and I think we're gonna build. And the thing is, we wasn't building. She was building.
Yeah.
But we weren't.
We weren't building. She had a plan already. I didn't. I was a plug and play.
Just plug me in already.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the thing is, and at the end of the day, and like I told them last week, I said, when you get divorced, you will see the dynamic of y'all relationship, y'all friendship, even after y'all not together no more.
Yeah.
You will see it. So, you know.
But to your point about your age group, that what I would say are the in the middle millennials.
The
right?
YNs.
Yeah. Zennials. A lot of that with these brothers who will say between 28 and 38, right? You take that 10-year sweep. First problem is you never learned about hierarchy. Hierarchy is learned on the playground with fights.
Yep.
Because some of my best friends from grade school were guys that I couldn't stand. We would get into it all the time. But after we figured out where we fit,
Yeah.
that's a part of building leadership skills, because then you start understanding hierarchy, where you fit, how things work. And boys need that, right?
Yeah.
When I was at Morehouse, some guys that I didn't care for there are some of my best friends today. Why? Because we saw each other become men. We saw each other get married and have kids. We saw this responsibility thing. And the thing about kind of taking it back to the marriage thing, I thought about this. I got another word: boring. Responsibility is boring as fuck. It is the most boring thing in the world.
Oh my God.
Did I say that last week?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Hey, no, because that's what I say. I said, you want to know what kind of woman you got? And y'all be together? And she say, it's boring. When she says boring, more than likely, it's not because y'all are not doing anything.
Right.
It's just at that point, you're now responsible. And responsibility, to your point, is boring.
Responsibility is boring and it takes discipline.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
You learn that like in the military. Discipline teaches you to do things that you don't want to do, but you know they have to be done. So I have to pay this mortgage. I got to pay this car note. I got to pay insurance. I got to pay the light bill, blah, 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 blah. It requires discipline and responsibility to know that you have to do those things over, man, I want to go take a flight. I want to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Spend $3,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Oh my.
You're talking to him.
I'm talking to him. No, because I told him that.
Yeah.
That's what I tell.
Yeah.
Everything you're saying to us in a profound way, I've been telling them that for 10 years.
Yeah.
I've been like this.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to sit. Hey, this sit down season.
Yeah.
And get what though? And you gotta get a woman and say, okay, baby, we gonna sit down.
We'll sit down.
Not. I'm gonna figure out a way for we can go somewhere.
Yeah.
We sitting down for a reason. Not because right now we gotta be responsible.
Right.
It's like this. How you ain't got a car, but you talking about going out of town?
I told my fiance, I was like, I just looked at her. She was just in the kitchen cooking or something, and I was just like, I'm gonna let you know right now, this pretty much it.
Yeah.
Like this is this it. Like if you expecting for something major, something like this is it for the most part. Yeah, we'll have some fun moments, of course. There'll be ups and downs of life, yada yada yada. But for the most part, this is it. So if this ain't what you want,
Right.
like I'm just letting you know now, is your
Hey.
cause this it. Ain't going no further than this.
But what's funny about that, because I'm sharing, kind of some personal stories. I'm thinking about my daughters, and more specifically my oldest daughter. She's not married. That may be on the table for her or not, and I'm okay either way. Her mom might not be, because her mom wants grandkids, right? And I told her, I said, let me tell you now, so you have the right expectations. I am not paying for a wedding. And now that goes against the grain of, well, fathers are supposed to pay for the weddings of
I ain't
their
paying for
daughters.
that.
I told her, I said, I am not paying for a wedding. What I will pay for is I will buy you a house. Because what you're not going to do is spend $50,000+ on a wedding and live in an apartment.
For 45 minutes.
For 40, hold up, with people you don't even like. So let's go back to
And
that.
ain't gonna be there if any
Right.
problems happen.
But I said, I'll buy you a house. This is what she said, which made me so proud. She said, yeah, Dad, and I want you to keep it in your name just in case he ain't right. Now,
Train them up right.
hey, bro. And then, you know, as we talked about it though, I said, but in an ideal world, if he is the man that I hope he is, he will come to me and say, no, I can't allow you to buy us a house. Yeah. I will buy us a house, but we do need your help here.
Yeah.
So what I told my kids, I said, this is what I would love for you to do. Have a small, intimate wedding with only the people that matter.
Thank you.
Which is your closest family and relatives and few friends.
The ones you talk to.
Right. Have a big reception for everybody else. The reception won't cost that much by comparison to trying to do this huge, fabulous wedding. And I'm like, you gotta be pragmatic about it. After that 45 minutes of stress, because it's leading up with nothing but stress.
Yeah.
When I got married, my wife and I fell out that night. Like, we went to sleep because we had no sleep for 2 weeks.
I'm gonna tell you something. on our wedding day, it's so crazy. We was the last ones to leave because we cleaned up.
Yep.
And at that moment, driving in my head, I was like, all these people that was rooting for this wedding to happen, and everybody talking about what we need to do, we was the last ones to leave.
Cleaning up.
And that right there was a telltale sign. Like now, everything's retrospective.
Right.
So now I'm like this. I see. Now I see.
Yeah.
Hey, I was blind then, cause I was at maybe, but now I see. See, I tell people that maybe is a hard place to be, especially as a man, trying to prepare for a family.
Oh yeah.
Prepare to be someone's husband.
Yeah.
The maybe is a hard place to be, and you have to be with someone to say, okay, I got you, not because you got me, because I got you, because I'm here in this with you.
Yeah.
And in this generation, you don't have people who want to be in it with you. You have people who want they want to exist in it.
Facts.
They don't want to be in it. It's like, and every time conflict comes into play, they run. Because boring, responsibility, duty, those are scary to a lot of men and women. It ain't just women. It's scary to a lot of men too.
Yep.
Because I tell my female friends, I say the reason why y'all get tricked so easily, because y'all like entertainers. All you gotta do is entertain your emotion. You get tricked every time because somebody entertain your emotions. I say, you know how to vet a man? The work he does. The work he puts into himself and how he shows up for you. You worry about the title, but you ain't looking at the work. That's why men are easy to throw titles out so quickly. And that's why a lot of us in divorce court.
Oh yeah. And you know, I just thought about this. So just to add a deeper layer to the conversation, when we talk about marriage as though it's this one thing. It's actually not.
It's not.
There are different types of marriages. So we have to understand, one, I can go to the courthouse. That is a secular government marriage. That comes through the government. But then there's the religious marriage. So if you're a Christian, you have a marriage that's through the church, right? Even though there's a government part of that, but the church signs off on that marriage.
The third signature.
Right. As a Muslim, it's the same thing. We have a wedding. It's the the imam, it's the masjid, it's that part. Then there's a cultural thing. So many of you in here who may or may not know some Nigerians in your life.
I know some.
And you'll be like, why did you have two weddings?
For the cultural part, yeah.
There's a cultural part to that. Because here's the deal. You can go have that Muslim or that Christian wedding all you want. It means nothing to the village chief back in Nigeria who has to sign off on the two of you coming together, right? And so when you look at it, there's different levels of responsibility from a community standpoint on each of those. Now, the one that impacts us the most here is not the religious marriages. It's the court. It's the court because your divorce is handled through the court.
Yep.
Child support and all
That's the business of marriage.
It's the business of marriage. And so you have to also understand that too. You have to understand the part about where marriage is a function of the court. It is a secular thing. It is about business. And you really see how much business is about if you get divorced.
Ooh, Lord.
It comes up like, and the church ain't involved in that.
Yeah, I was telling a young man here last week. I was like this. Those scary hours. When you look at somebody and that person that you did all this stuff and everybody praise and hallelujah, and this person sitting across from you trying to figure out the chess game to make sure that you have less and they have more.
You know,
Divorce can bring the ugly out you.
well,
Yeah, and I would even caution, to anybody watching this, keep them street lawyers out of your relationships. Street lawyers are her friends and your friends who think they know what you should be doing, but they're not involved in any of this, right? It's like when you got an idea for a business and somebody says, I think you ought to do this. And I'm going to say to you, I think you need to stroke me a check to implement what you think I should do. If you're not stroking no check, go sit down somewhere. Yeah. And the same thing is in the marriage. One of the reasons why my wife and I have been together for so long, we told our families up front, this is our marriage, not yours. So we will take advice, but stay out of it.
But
meaning,
you're not gonna implement your own
Right.
your rules on my house.
And as far as our friends, my friends think I'm the most private person in the world, because as much as I will talk about something, when it comes to my household, I'm extremely private. It's a need to know. And so we have to be careful with making sure that we're not volunteering information to people who do not have our best interests at heart. Because often we do that, and it gets in the way. It's like this. I told my wife one time, she asked me, she said, so you don't think that none of my girlfriends are pretty? I said, they pretty to somebody, just not to me.
Thank you.
So I said, if any of them were to ever tell you I tried to holler at them, they're a goddamn lie. Because I don't think none of them attractive.
Yeah.
And she looked at me like a typical woman. Well, that's my girl. She's pretty. I said, I didn't say she wasn't.
She's not to me.
And it's the same thing. It's like when you start letting people get involved in your relationship who are not there, who are not really should be in, it creates a discord in that relationship. Because now, when you and her have a fight, she going to her to talk to you about it. Like, you don't need to be talking to nobody about what's going on in my house.
And they're going to talk.
When we get past that, they're going to still remember that.
Exactly. And that's how they're going to deal with us. It's sort of like when I told my wife was like, we were talking about her pledge in one of the Divine Nines as a grad chapter. And I told her, I said, I will support that. But do understand right now, none of your sorors are welcome to my home. They cannot come in my house. This is not the meeting place. I'll pay for some place for you to go meet. This ain't
just
it.
not here.
This is my place of peace. The bros can't come in here, not to hang out, and your sisters can't come in here to hang out. We go hang out somewhere else. And I'm gonna tell you why that is. It's not that they're not welcome. Individuals, yeah, fine.
But the groups.
This is what they do when they walk in your house.
Yeah, they analyze everything.
They looking at everything.
They size you up.
They sizing me up. And I'm like, and I don't really care about that so much, but I have boundaries with regards to that. My house is my sanctum. It is the one place of peace that I can say is mine. When I come from outside of this world, from work or whatever it is, when I walk in my house, it's peace. So even in my relationship with my wife, not to say that we don't have disagreements, we do. We don't have arguments.
Yeah.
We did when we were younger because we didn't know no better.
Yeah.
You yelling at each other, saying all kind of crazy shit.
She's trying. You trying to win. She trying to win. Yeah.
There is no winning for nobody in that.
Yeah.
But I can have a disagreement with you. We can have a conversation, and if now is not the time, that's okay too. But what we're not going to do is disrespect each other. We're not going to call each other out of name. None of that stuff is ever going to happen. And certainly we're not putting our hands on each other. That's a non-negotiable for me. I'm a big black dude. All I got to do is put my palm print on somebody.
It's over.
Oh, it was abuse. Look at my leg.
Boy.
No, I'm not losing my freedom over some dumb shit. So what we're going to do is we're going to calm down. We're going to be adults and we're going to talk. But what we are also going to do is keep other people out of stuff that we can fix ourselves.
Oh, wait a minute. Did you just say y'all gonna be adults?
All day, every day. Boring, bruh. Can you imagine how beautiful being boring together is?
It's beautiful.
It's the most beautiful thing in the world.
Oh my God, it's beautiful. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful doing nothing.
And you know what kind of like really set that in for me and understanding the beauty in the boring was when I was able to buy my fiance's ring. Now it had been money that I had put away long time. I didn't even think, I was like, whenever am I gonna use my mom always just told me, just like, yeah, just put the money up for whatever. And I just sat there and I was like, oh, I guess this will be the point in which I would use that. But I look back at all the years I was just putting little payments, little money to the side, and I was like, it's the same as an investment.
Right, absolutely.
You put in small increments every day or every week, every month, whatever it may be, and it add up to something.
Man, let me tell you how dope my wife is. So my wife would not accept a ring with precious stones in it. That wasn't her thing.
Come on now.
No, for real.
Look at God.
Like, so I didn't have to go spend $20,000 on a 20 carat ring or whatever. Our first wedding rings were made by an artisan that we knew. She made them from sterling silver. She took our ring size, she made the rings for us. We spent maybe $250.
Come on now.
Back in the day. I spent all of $5,000 on my wedding.
Hey, look, see, you about to get kicked off.
I know, right?
See what you doing? What you doing now, bro? What you doing? See, cause you done said I'm an entrepreneur. You done said she got 1,000 degrees. You done said she spent 5,000 on the wedding and everything, and you had stir. You gonna kick?
Look, here's the point of that. Here's the point of me saying, I'm not telling anybody that whatever amount of money they feel that they need to go spend.
Yeah.
But I'm always very pragmatic, and she is too.
Yeah.
She's probably more pragmatic than I am.
Come on, God.
Yeah.
And so in that, we looked at, okay, what does it look like down the line? What do we want to do?
Exactly.
So this is what we want to do.
Oh, y'all made plans.
We made plans that we made.
Come on now.
Y'all made plans.
That's what we did.
Wait a minute. So you had a plan, and she had an idea. Y'all came together and made plans.
Yes.
And 35 years later, with 4 kids, doing really well.
So,
What?
but what I'm getting at is this. At this season in our lives, we're both at this kind of retirement space, right? And my retirement idea is not retirement for the sake of stopping to work. It's retirement from working because I have to.
Come on.
That's the difference. I'm going to keep working as long as I can, right?
Yeah.
But it's because I have to. So why would I buy a multi-million-dollar house here
Oh my.
when I can have 3 houses in 3 different countries that cost $250 a piece?
Come on. Hold on.
That we can get on a plane
You making too much sense.
with nothing but a backpack.
You making too much sense, man.
Learn it.
and drop off in the next country where we own a house. All of our clothes and everything's there. I didn't have to pay.
You got clothes there already.
It's already there.
You just get open the door.
But there ain't no Instagram. There ain't no it ain't none of that. It ain't us posting pictures while we're where we are.
You ain't on the gram, me.
letting people know that we ain't at home here so they can go break in our house.
Yeah.
My point is, you got to have a plan and you got to understand where it is you're going. That's all a part of this marriage thing.
Yeah.
And if the families can enjoy your success along with that, that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. My father-in-law, interestingly, our birthdays are a day apart and 20 years apart. He and I are very much alike in certain ways, and in certain ways we're not. I never once had to convince him that I was a good man for his daughter. He saw it. He saw it through what I did.
He saw it.
He has witnessed 4 of his grandkids. He's witnessed a daughter, my oldest daughter with her, she went to Howard, got her undergrad, did Peace Corps, went back to GW, got her MBA. My youngest daughter just got her PhD. My oldest son lives in Chicago. He does cybersecurity. My youngest boy just graduated from college last year. He's a musician. The point is, he as a grandparent and as a grandfather saw the work.
Yep.
So I never had to convince him of anything.
Hold on, quick question.
Go ahead.
How old were you when you got married?
Oh, man. 22.
Told you.
A year after.
Yeah.
If you don't get married in your early to late 20s, getting married in your 30s is a lot more difficult unless you're living with your partner. It's a conversation I've had with a number of people who are between 35 and 40. As you get older, it's more difficult to share space with another person.
Yeah.
And so in that, you have to calculate that into your rubric of possibly getting married. Like, can I live with this person?
Yeah.
Given what I'm seeing today, most of these people can't live with each other. They can date, they can spend each other's money and time.
Yep.
And the other part about time for me, I got more time behind me than I have in front of me, life-wise. Me spending my time is important. My time is extremely important.
Valuable.
Yeah.
When you and I met, even though I had been following him online forever, but we just ran into each other at the gathering spot. He had a Morehouse shirt on. I'm sitting at a table full of Morehouse brothers. And so that's kind of how we met. But if we didn't meet and have a good interaction at that first, I wouldn't be sitting here because my time is important.
Yep.
And the woman that I'm with, she has my time. She doesn't have all of my time because I'm involved in a lot of things, but the time that she needs from me, she has it. And the time I need from her, I have it. But in that, we have just made that commitment. Now, is it more business than anything? It's business, and we're getting old. I don't want to be 60-something years old by myself.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. And I got boys right now who got divorced in their late 40s, who have never remarried, but they're lonely. They are lonely.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. That's why me and Lenny keep looking at each other. Because
I must be saying some stuff that's
no,
already...
Well,
'cause
you
you're saying that with me, like even with Joe and I, these conversations I have with them all the time. I say people don't realize at like 45, most of my friends who are kind of divorced now, we're the most loneliest people in the world. And women are like, so why you just don't go get remarried again?
That ain't gonna stop me from
That
being
ain't gonna
lonely.
stop me from being lonely. I said, and because it's the world we live in now, to your point, is different. The women are different. It's harder to meet someone and they come under your covering, and because they've been doing their own thing for so long, they gonna be looking at you like you crazy. Hey, unless you come in there and just do what they want you to do, then you're gonna be a sucker to them.
Yeah.
And then their friends gonna be like this. She got him one. She got one.
Got him.
Well, it's always a very simple thing to me. If I'm dating you, I'm not dating your friend.
Thank
So
you.
your friends have no say in what's going on. Now, it'd be different if I was an abusive asshole. That's a different situation, right?
Ass whooping a fella.
Right, but
You know they like fellas ass whoopers.
yeah. But I think the thing is that you have to have a certain amount of clarity as best you can at the stage in life that you decide to take on a wife, right? Let me say for the record, I love black women. And when I say that, I mean that from the bottom of my tippy toe. I love black women. And when I say I love black women,
Amen.
I love black women from all over the world because I've dated black women from different parts of the world. I not only love black women and respect and honor them, I want what is best for them. And I want what is best for black men who engage with them. I'm also kind of a unicorn. I've never slept with a woman who wasn't black. I've never dated a woman who wasn't black. I refuse to do it. Ever.
Dr. Umar will be proud of you.
No, he's a fool. I refuse to do it because for me, it is a disrespect to the black women in my life. It is a disrespect to my ancestors. I understand who I am with regards to living in this country and the history as it relates to that. It does impact relationships. It's important. I hear people say, well, you find love where you find love. I told all my kids, I said, don't ever bring no white person to my house.
Come on now, boy.
And this may come back and bite me, but I'm okay with it.
My kids
And
too,
what
if
I
y'all
said
listen
to
to
them-
this years from now.
I
Hell
said
no.
to them, I said, to me, you just told me you gave up on black people. If you can't find a black American person that you like, find a black Caribbean person that you like.
Yes.
You can't find a black Caribbean person, find a black African person.
It's plenty other choices.
Like, there's a lot of
Yes.
choices, but you got to open up yourself to the experience. But the other part of it is about continuity. One of the beautiful things that my youngest daughter said to me and my wife, she said, no, you ain't got to worry about that because I want to have kids that look like me. And she was crystal clear about that without stuttering. I just say in all of this, we have to be very intentional. It is okay for a black person to say, I only date black people. I only love black people. That doesn't mean I hate anyone else. That just simply means I understand the importance and the power of my own community and being with my own person and building, going back to that building.
Building community.
Building community. You said something earlier. I lived in the West End for 15 years. This is before it became this nonsense that it is now with $900 and $1 million houses that used to sell for $250 before the Beltline. And during that time, I had friends who went to school in the AU with me and from other places. I said, man, y'all need to come in the West End and buy these houses up right now. Like, for real, for real. Man, but the schools, I said, do you know why the schools that you send your kids to on the north side are as
Tell them
good
why.
as they are?
Tell them why.
Because those parents are involved in the classes and with the teachers, and they're involved. You
The
come
community.
here, they got a community. You come
The
here,
village.
you don't want to be involved.
No.
Be involved. Make these schools as good as the north side schools are.
Wait a minute. So are you saying that we're taking our resources?
He's spent too much wisdom right now.
We're taking our resources to other
Yes.
our resources to other communities and making them better?
Yes, we are.
Yep.
Gwinnett County is a perfect example.
Yep.
East Cobb is a perfect example.
Yep.
I mean, I could keep going.
Oh, no, you ain't got to. I said this.
Yeah. No, you preaching. My brother Spike over here got a question for y'all.
Go ahead, Spike.
Yeah, really you touched on the woman being able to accept a man's authority, right? So, like, how does it, at what point or what can you tell a man or a woman, right, when it comes to a conversation and a man asking a woman or something, sometimes authority comes off as control, right? So, because there's been moments in my life where I'm laying down authority, and this woman's feeling like I'm trying to control her. So, like, what is the difference in that? Because for me, to give you a situation, right, it was like, hey, look, I don't want you talking to me with no aggression. Like,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was just like, that's not.
You don't
how I
respond to
respond.
that.
Yeah, I don't respond
Setting
to
up a
that.
boundary.
I was like, I need you to talk to me like this. You know, like this is how
boundary.
this is how I receive it. And her thing was like, well, this is. Sometimes when I talk with aggression because I was raised like this around these type of people, these men. This is how I was raised, and I was just like, I get that, but like this ain't gonna work here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She was just like, well, can we find a middle ground? No, it cannot.
Oh,
She wants you to move your boundary.
She wanted you to compromise your boundary.
Right.
Exactly. So like,
How dare they?
So some women that may sound like, oh,
Right.
he's trying to control me. So like, what's your take on that?
There's a lot to unpack there, but I'll put it this way. I'm up here using newfangled terms, unpack. God.
The word salad.
Podcast.
The word salad.
I will say this. There's a concept of the 3 C's that I have for black men. Competent, confident, and capable. 3 C's. By today's standards, if you are a black man who's competent, confident, and capable, you are automatically labeled as toxic and arrogant by a lot of people. Not by everyone, but by a lot of people. We live in a world where psychology plays a big part in how we interact with people, whether it's the same sex or the opposite sex. In a personal relationship, everything is personal. Everything. So the least little eye glance, the least little body language shift, somebody's paying attention to it and they may take it or interpret it a certain way. So I say this, I think it's fantastic that you got boundaries that you set and you were very clear in your communication to her about what was acceptable for you and what's not. You remind me of my oldest son. My oldest son is kind of like that. If you yell at him, yeah, he gonna look at you and be like, yo, not today or any day, you come back to me when you can talk with some respect. And I even get her position about I grew up like this. Because one of the things that throws me off is there's this, it's like monkey see, monkey do. All these women who think they gotta do all of this and all of this and all of that. And they don't understand that is the most aggressive form of communication that's nonverbal. It gives a different message to men. Men don't see it the way you think you're delivering that message. And women have to understand about men. At our core, we are violent creatures. We use violence to solve problems. Men do. Mm-hmm. Society and civilization helps us control that violence so that we act as a civilized human being in how we're interacting with people, right? Male or female. Because I always tell my wife, yeah, I don't talk to dudes the same way I talk to women. Because with dudes, I'm like, I'm in your face. Mm-hmm. And I am one of those, I will be in your face. I'm not going to talk behind your back, I'm going to talk straight to you. Some people can deal with that, some people can't. When it comes to me talking to women, I understand that they have an emotional interpretation of our words and our actions that we don't see. We simply don't see. So the first thing is, how I would deal with that is exactly how you dealt with it. You cannot talk to me ever like that. We can talk, we can disagree, we can even be upset, but we have to agree that we'll never disrespect one another while we're having this disagreement. Guess what that requires? Responsibility, discipline, adulthood, understanding, right? And if you don't have those things in your tool chest, that person would never be able to be the right person for you. That's the key. As for the authority thing and controlling, I think that everybody's a social media psychologist now. So everybody wants to talk about trauma and this, that, and the other when they don't really understand what that means. Everybody thinks everybody needs to go to a therapist. I don't need no therapist. And I know some people look at this, well, what does that mean? I don't, because I have friends. I have a community. I'm not lonely. I'm spiritually settled. Like, I've got things that buttress me as a human being that give me the stability that I need, that I don't need to go see a therapist. But if I was living by myself, I didn't have a family, I'm in a city that I don't have any friends in, I'm by myself, and I'm lonely, well, I need somebody to talk to, so I'll go pay somebody to talk to.
Pay them $300
an hour.
An hour, Jeff, and them to write down everything you just said, and then tell you.
So to wrap this up, I think for you, with what you just said, setting the boundary is important, helping her understand that that's not your communication style. Because that's the biggest part of the conversation and the arguments that we have with our partners. I don't understand your communication style, you don't understand mine, and that's why we keep doing this. And the irony of this is, I had this exact conversation with my wife yesterday. We sometimes have very different communication styles about certain things. I'm one of those, if I ask you a question, I want an answer only to that question.
To the question I asked.
That's it.
What?
Don't give me a whole bunch of
I ain't ask all that.
superfluous. No, give me an answer to that question. I had to explain this again. This is not the first time we've had the conversation. But in talking to each other, guess what we did? We got to understand it. She was like, okay, I get it. I understand where you're coming from, and I want you to understand where I'm coming from. And I said, I do, but understand, if I'm trying to get somewhere, I just really don't need you to think. I need you to listen to my question, answer that question so I can move on to the next thing. Now, let me say, for transparency, that is a very male, logical way of thinking. Our logical way of thinking ends up causing problems with women who don't think in linear fashion. They think non-linear. Mm-hmm. And and their emotions, because their emotions are more developed than ours, tend to deal with stuff very differently. I'm mature enough to understand that regardless of what I told my wife about my way of processing information. I had to understand and let her know I understood her way of
I hear you.
processing. I hear you. I hear you and accept what you're saying.
So,
Go ahead.
so
Hopefully that answers part of your question
yeah,
anyway.
Yeah, it definitely did. So my whole thing is like when it comes to that, because sometimes women may hear you say, "Hey, this is how I communicate. This is how I receive." And she may say, yeah, "But this is how I also receive. I'm not receiving what you're willing to receive right away. You want to receive it." So like in that moment, how do you guys come to like compromise or an understanding of whose authority to follow, right? Because a woman always want to follow, what I'm saying, authority. If they feel like they really cannot agree with it, you know what I mean? So it's just like,
Go ahead and
how
tell
do
me.
you get to that point?
Bruh,
Go ahead, tell me.
sometimes I just say it straight out. I just told you what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
and you
what
got to
the-
be okay with that.
Right,
That's
you
the
gotta-
thing. I think a lot of times.
No,
Well,
go ahead, John.
Well, I
Like-
say like a lot of times like we'll say that, and then we'll hear their side.
Then you'll
but we're
backtrack.
not. And then, yeah, exactly.
can't
that
backtrack.
ain't nothing else.
You can't backtrack.
I said what I said, and even to your point, if it comes off controlling, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
You gonna call me it anyway, so I'ma live with it regardless. But I understand it's that compromise part. We compromise and be like, oh well, I understand where you come. So next time, no.
Everything's not about a compromise. I think a lot of people got that twisted. They think that everything's about a because here's the other part of that. There are times that my wife will tell me, this is what I'm getting ready to do. Okay. You see how I did that? I stepped the fuck out the way. Okay. Because guess what? You made a decision that you're going to follow through with action. I'm going to let it play out. Now, if it doesn't play out well,
That's when I step in.
that's when I'll step in. But other than that, I don't step in because I learned this from an older sister. She actually used to work for me in a company I had years ago. And she told me something that I have kept to this day. She said, one of the biggest problems with men is that you always trying to solve a problem. You're always trying to solve her problem, whoever her is. Don't do that.
You can't solve. You can't fix her.
You can't fix her.
And I had to learn. I had to learn that. And like female relationships, different relationships, I can't fix the problem. Like now, if you ask me my opinion on it, I give you my opinion.
Exactly.
But I'm not trying. This is what I think you should do. And we'll see at the end how it works out. And a lot of times, a lot of people, especially in particular men, because we think we're rational. We're very rational when we think. So we be trying to make sure that you don't fall.
Right.
But
Because we want to protect her.
yeah, because that's our instinct. But the thing is, now now it's like, okay, I don't want to fall, so I don't want you to fall. But we have to clean up anyway. So it's very hard to get around. Ain't no way around it.
And here's my joke about that. I looked at my wife and I just tell her, you do know you got to live with me, right? Like everything can't be so serious. Sometimes you gotta use levity to kind of break it up. And understand, I love you, I respect you. We got to live together, so we'll figure it out. We might not figure it out right now, right? But I think here's my deal with men in authority. If a man ever has to say he's the man of the house, he has no authority.
He ain't the man in the house.
He has zero authority. A man who acts, because what I hear from my female friends, I just want men who are consistent. If they tell me that this is what they're going to do, they're going to do it. And it's sort of like this famous quote from Jill Scott. She was in an interview talking about,
If you can tell me what to do,
you can tell me what to do
you can tell me what to do.
if you can tell me what to do. But if you can't tell me what to do, you cannot tell me what to do. There was so much inference in that every black person understood immediately what she was saying, male or female. And the reality is what she was saying is, I don't have a problem being submissive to a man and following his leadership and his guidance. But you got to be consistent.
You got to be a leader.
You got to be a leader.
Yeah.
And I think the thing is, I hear words like simp and betas and this, that, and alphas. And let me tell you something. First of all, there is no such thing as an alpha male.
Thank you.
At all. Does not exist. I'm a bit of a geek. There's science behind the use of the phrase alpha male. The science that came from that was a guy who was studying roosters.
Yep.
He was studying roosters. And he came back and said, I mistakenly used that. So you'll hear people say, well, you got an alpha male with wolf packs. There is no alpha. Women, the female wolves run the pack, not the males, right? Just like a lion's pride. The female lions run the pride. And if you don't understand that, so this is why I say I love black women. I love the power of their femininity, because I don't have that power. They have the ability to run this world and they don't even realize it.
Yeah. Hey,
Dog.
no.
Come on now.
Hey, Lonnie. I tell.
brother ain't telling no lie.
I tell every single one of my women friends. I tell them all. I say, you know why you get what you get? Because you guys have created this guy, and now this guy is being something that.
Soy boys.
So basically,
Soy boys.
you've created this sucker.
Yep.
And now you mad because you got a sucker.
Look,
Like this. And
You created it, you mad about it, but you created
but
it.
you didn't want to be under the covering of a man not giving you authority, but speaking in authority. And that's where we're at right now. That's why the
exactly
marriage
right.
rate, that's why everything is so down. And that's why young brothers like yourself, you like, I'm trying to figure, I'm trying to compromise. There's no compromise.
Yeah, there's no compromise.
Like this, and that's what we learned, because we learned it from our moms.
Yep.
We got to compromise. You got to compromise, and we
Yep.
learned it from guys who can't walk in authority. You just got to compromise with them, man. You know, happy, and happy this and happy that. Don't none of that stuff make no sense.
You know
Happy
what?
wife,
I was just
happy
thinking
life.
about something. So I've seen this, and I know you guys have seen this online, especially on social media. Women who will say, he's got to be a man of God.
Oh my gosh.
We gonna dig deep into that, or the ones who say God first and then they're showing everything. But that's another discussion.
What?
But he's got to be a man of God, right?
He about to scare him. He about to scare him.
You about to scare him. I'm waiting.
So here's the thing. I've had women who say, well, yeah, I couldn't date a Muslim. I was like, why not? Because, they're not Christians.
What?
It's like, so what you just told me is you don't know anything about Islam. Because if you did, you would know that Jesus is mentioned in the Quran more than Muhammad, peace be upon him, is.
Sure is.
But you've never read the Quran, so you don't know anything about it. So it'd be better to say that than to say, well, I couldn't. Or I have to be a man who's God-fearing. He has to go to church and blah, blah, blah. So here's the thing about that. When you are in a position where someone dictates to you what your spiritual belief system should be, run as far away from that person as you possibly
Yeah,
can.
because she trying to tell you about being.
She can't tell you what spiritual practice you should have.
Yeah.
But it speaks to this authority thing. If she really understood what it meant to be a Christian male who's really following in the footsteps of Jesus and following a Christian doctrine, he is all but super authoritative.
Purpose is first.
Period.
Purpose is first.
Period.
Purpose is first.
And so if you think you can do all of this with your fingers and talk to him any kind of way, if he's really following the path of Christ, that would not ever be allowed.
You can't tell me how my relationship should look.
No, not at all.
I feel like the one thing I keep running into is like women who say, I want you to accept me for who I am. My whole thing is, if who you are,
Never.
Never. Hey,
if who you are like hurts me or makes me feel some type of way,
No.
I can't do it because I know we have to. I know I have to change for us to become one. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I need you to be that same reciprocity. And some women are like, I just want somebody who understands me in this way.
Dog, that's a red flag.
Go ahead.
That's a red flag.
Big red flag.
Because here's the practical reality. Any person that says, when I hear he accepts me for all my flaws and he knows I'm spoiled and all of this, that's a child.
Yes, a
talking.
child.
That's not a woman. That's a child.
God. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you,
The-
Jesus.
Jesus, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, my God. Thank you.
The reality is this. Everyone should be prepared to embrace change. You have to embrace change when you decide to join with another person. Because you have to change in a way that allows for that union to work. Because now Lonnie's not by himself anymore.
Yeah.
He's got a fiance now.
He got a different
He
responsibility.
got a whole different responsibility.
And that's what we talk about. When Lonnie was talking about getting engaged, it was me and him. I was cutting his hair. I said, now you got another responsibility.
Yeah.
I said, and you got to make sure the person that you're responsible for understands your assignment and her assignment.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem with us is, as men, too many of us, we trying to make somebody follow us. Going back to what I said initially. She want a God-fearing man. She knows she knows if she studies correctly where you're going, because she's studying properly and you're leading properly. The problem with so many of us is they think if you're not going their way, if you ain't doing what they feel you should be doing, now you ain't the man. You ain't a man of God because you ain't doing what she.
It's a control mechanism. I mean, at the end of the day, it's this game that's played between the sexes, right? And you're playing this game of control. So with a lot of women, they're like young children. They will push the bubble, right? They'll see how far they can go with you, what buttons they can push to get what they want. That's a manipulation tactic. I think about something Chris Rock said in one of his old comedy shows, and he basically said, you know, about what men really want from women. What did he say? Feed me, fuck me, shut the fuck up.
Ooh.
Right? And he wasn't saying shut up because I don't want to hear what you got to say, but allow me to walk in the house.
Let me cook.
Let me decompress from my day before you tell me everything that went on that day with you and 20 other people. Give me an opportunity to decompress. One of the ways that I used to do that when I was younger in my marriage, I used to work in Alpharetta, but I lived off of Cascade. It would take me 45 minutes. It was a 35-mile drive up 400. I would actually go and decompress with a group of old men who used to sit at the Starbucks on Cascade Road. Those were my mentors. I would decompress with them for about an hour before I went home. My wife knew I was there. And I told her, I said, the reason why I do this is because I don't want to bring any of this stuff home. When I come home, you're going to get me, not me upset or dealing with stuff from work, right? She understood and respected that, and it worked out because I rarely would talk about issues at work with her because I'm like, you can't fix it, and I don't really need you to hear it. I've already talked to other people about it, right? So I don't need you to hear it. But I think the thing is, going back to this authority and where men sit in the relationship, men need to stop telling women that they're going to do shit that they don't do.
Thank you.
We got to be consistent in our actions. We got to have brothers in our circle that call us to task when we're not doing what we're supposed to do. Like if a man comes to me and say, well, yeah, man, I didn't do this because I was mad at her, so I didn't pay my child support. You don't need to keep talking to me. You need to go take care of your kid.
Yeah, hey.
And I think
They come to get you.
bruh.
They on your ass, playboy.
Miller Road come to get you.
No, they will come get you. But I think my thing is that if we as men start holding brothers more accountable in how they behave and interact with our sisters, a lot of what we're hearing from our sisters will start dissipating.
Yeah, because they won't have no choice. Because it won't be no other, it won't be the suckers, like I say.
Nah.
It won't be none left.
Yeah.
And
So-
we got a bunch of suckers out there who they trying to do everything.
Yeah, so the thing is, back to what I was saying about my generation of men being so lonely, it's like, I can easily come sit on this side and have a whole bunch of them. They're not gonna be beneficial, and they're not gonna give me what I need to progress forward. I'm gonna be almost regressing back. So men have to draw a line in the sand. Like I tell people all the time, I'm not a big dater. I don't be going. I spend time with you, but we ain't gonna be going around the city. Because right now, I'm in focus mode. When me and Lonnie decided to do this, I'm like, look, that business, cutting hair, that business, and this my business. I'm in focus mode. And if you can't understand the focus and the task at hand, this may not be for you. And you got to be okay with going to bed alone. And a lot of brothers, especially the brothers from the 28 to 38, they ain't what they want to do. Because so they invite so many different spirits and entities
In their house.
Yep. In and out.
And the
Yep.
thing is, then your house is clouded. And I ain't saying just where you live at, your temple, your emotions, your heart, your mind.
The sage ain't gonna get rid of
the
that.
sage ain't
The sage ain't gonna get rid of that.
like Salon say, you can't wish it away.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why, like, honestly, I love talking to older married men. He 15, 16 years older than me. I like sitting here listening to him because he's saying everything that I said to him,
Yeah.
that I said to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it makes sense. It's like a full circle.
I'd add something to what you just said, because I've actually told some brothers that are close to my age who happen to be divorced and they were out there in it, right? Stop bringing women to your house.
Yep.
Like, unless you're in a real relationship
Yeah.
with them, they have no business in your house and you have no business in theirs.
Yeah.
Y'all can meet up somewhere that's neutral.
And you know what though? And me and Lonnie said this on one of our episodes a while back. I was saying that, you know, most men like to show, not say house, like they like to show, hey, I'm responsible.
Right.
I'm this. But that's only to a woman that you seeing or you thinking about a future with.
Right.
Not the girl that you met yesterday.
Absolutely.
And everybody was on our thing. Oh, I said, that ain't what we was talking about. See, you missed the whole point. I said, men like to show and prove, because we're men. We show and prove, hey, I can pay bills because my light's on. I got real dishes. I got real bed sheets.
You don't have the solo cups and you're eating off paper plates.
Yeah, like this. I got real forks.
Real fast.
I got real furniture.
Yeah.
This cost.
Yeah. Okay, we got to talk about this because this is a topic, obviously, one of the top 3 reasons of divorce usually is finances. So I have to ask y'all, how do y'all approach finances in a marriage? Is it yours, ours, theirs, who, you know what I'm saying? Let's just touch on that a little bit because, you know, I'd be remiss if we didn't.
You want to go first?
So I've been married 3 times. So in the beginning, my mentality was join everything, join account, all our money go together. This marriage, I have my bank account, she has her bank account. We contribute to the bills and everything works out.
Yeah, because get what up? You got
So was that like,
It's like
you
50-50.
put in, she put
put
in,
in.
like 50-50?
hey,
That what you was
you mean like they're adulting.
They're adulting.
Because here's the crazy thing in the world. For us to have the least, we have the least. We're last in every statistical category. But we got our other counterparts telling that what they ain't gonna do to be in this with us.
I ain't gonna say it's 50-50.
I mean, I know,
But no, but I mean,
we know it's not.
Yeah.
But y'all
But
both
if it had-
contributed is what
But
I'm
if it
getting
had
at.
to,
But
you
if it
should
had
be
to be,
okay with it.
like if it had to be, it's like this. You go to work too.
And that's something I established in the beginning. I was like, 2 incomes.
It's better than one.
Better than one. So
You go to work every day.
They say 3 better than 2. Well, you know, we ain't gonna get that. No, I'm just kidding. But what was it?
You crazy.
Shout out to my brother Neo.
you ain't ready for that.
No, I
So I would tell you, over the time that we've been together, that dynamic has changed. Okay. And this is what I mean. From the beginning, it's always been all hands on deck. Period. So there was never an expectation of me from her, you're going to pay for everything. I've never ever heard that or experienced it. However, as a man, love to be in a position where I can take care of most things. I'm okay with that too. It's not a problem for me. Now, religiously as a Muslim, just to give some context, in Islam, men are responsible for everything. So if a man works, he's responsible for taking care of all of the bills of the household. The woman can work, but her money belongs to her, not to the house. If she chooses to spend the money in the house, that's her prerogative. It's not a requirement, religiously speaking. We don't necessarily run our household that way. It has always been about what was the need for the family at that time. So for instance, this is my 4th business. One of my businesses went bust, almost took us into bankruptcy. Actually, it did. And just so you guys know, bankruptcy is a tool to be used. It is not something to be ashamed of. Let me say that for the record. It is a tool. It is a financial tool. I had a business that went bust. It created a lot of problems financially. Of course, the tension levels in the house, stress went up. She had to hold the line. while I was getting things together.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on. So you mean to tell me, because it's like, in layman terms, when yours went awry, y'all's,
Yeah.
when yours went awry, she came in and said, my hand's on deck.
Yeah.
And
Without question.
Hold on. So hold on.
Give me
So
the
how long you been married again?
36 years
Hold
in May.
on. See, this gonna be the last episode we ever do. Cause these folks is not gonna like nothing we talking about.
And that's okay.
And and it is fine, because when you try to explain that to the modern women now, they look at you like you're crazy. Because you know why? Because gentlemen like yourself, we have this conversation with you, but they don't.
Yeah.
So the problem with them, they have in their mind, they in Never Never Land and Mr. Peter Pan.
And to his situation, I had a situation like that. You know, I work for the government.
Yeah.
When the government shuts down, I'm an essential employee. I still got to go to work.
Yeah.
So there was a period of time where I wasn't getting a check.
I remember.
Yeah.
And
I remember that too,
my
yeah.
wife stepped up and held it down.
But Lonnie, to your overall question, are we in this together or are we not? That's it. That's it in a nutshell. So are we because the Christian vows of marriage says till death do us apart,
Rich and
and
poor?
richer and poor. Like it's a whole list. For some reason, all they get is the I do part.
Whoa, man. Sickness and health.
Richness and poor.
Wait a minute.
I mean, it's
Better
a
word.
list.
Wait the hell a minute
Yes.
now.
Hold up. And it gets better. It gets better than that. It requires you to be now responsible for that other person as they are responsible for you. Now, when it comes to finances, I mean, I don't really care about none of that. I told my wife, if we were to get divorced today, she would never have to worry about money for the rest of her life. She'd be taken care of. And I'm gonna tell you why. Not because I have to. It's because of who I am. This woman gave me 4 beautiful children. She helped me build a family.
Yeah. So, wait a minute. So your wife gave you 4 beautiful children.
Yes.
And if anything happened, you gonna make sure she's straight because
Period.
of who you are, because you took a vow to her.
Period.
But even, hold on
Period.
Come on now.
now.
Period.
Come on now.
Hey, no,
Yes.
you know why?
Period.
It's a difference between, because he made a vow to her, even though we ain't together no more,
Yep.
and we have spent almost 40 years together. I'm still gonna look out for your best interest, even if I'm not.
Now, mind you, 25 years ago, that might have been a different statement coming from me. But here we in it, bruh.
Yeah.
3+ decades. No, I have a commitment as a man to her. And what I'm saying here is, I'm not saying, oh, well, she gonna go get married to somebody else and this Negro gonna be spending my money. That's not what I'm talking about, because I already know that ain't gonna happen anyway. But it's really more of, even if another woman got involved with me, she needs to understand, here's the situation. You might be lucky if my kids even accept you.
You said about.
That's the authority piece. So but I'm going to be straight with you and give it to you.
Yeah.
You can pick and choose, because this is how I walk in life. And everybody doesn't say this, but this is how I walk. I don't need you. To anyone, I don't need you. So my presence with you is because I want to be.
Come on,
with you.
man.
It is a choice.
Come on,
But
man.
if you are operating with me because you think I need you, you got me twisted.
Hey, man, it's a whole other set of problems.
Come on now.
It is. So this money thing, money is one of the biggest. It's 2 things actually. It's money and sex, right? But money is at the top. Money well outweighs sex, right? The money problem is because, one, y'all never talked about money. You never talked about how you feel about money, how I feel. Like, my wife's a saver. She loves to save. I'm a spender because I'll go out and make it. I'm gonna make that money, right? But I'm not one of those. I ain't taking nothing to the grave.
Exactly.
It's gonna be all spent. I told my kids, I ain't leaving nothing for y'all if you don't do certain things that's in your trust. And if you don't do it, every single penny will go to charity. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Because my thing is, I can't do anything with it once I'm in the ground. But what I can do is what I can do with it now. What do? And Lonnie knows this. I spend time in the community. I do mentorship programs with 100 Black Men and other organizations I belong to. I am involved in a give back situation.
You're a giver.
My life is about giving back to young people, and I specifically work with young black males, right? Doesn't mean I wouldn't work with a black female, but I think young black girls should have black women working with them, right? But in that, when you talk about money, I find that in a lot of these relationships, the money conversation actually never comes up. You never really talk about it.
Yeah.
But you know why? Because you've been dating and hanging out for so long, or you done had a baby at month 2, and now y'all just forced to be together, quote unquote. And these are not real conversations that most people have, because these are the boring conversations. These are responsible conversations. Yeah. These are the adult conversations.
And you got to have them. And if you even down to how your financial situation will change if you have kids, you got to talk about that. You got to talk about, where am I going to send them to school? Are we paying for private schools, or are we sending them to public schools? Where are we sending them to school? Where are we going to live? How much is that going to cost us, right? But it's us. So, you know, like in my household right now, I probably take care of 90% of our monthly expenses.
All the kids gone.
All the kids are gone. We travel like crazy.
So guess what?
I'm getting ready to head out of the country in a couple of weeks.
So at almost 60, you are doing your trips and enjoy and love and stuff on the back end. See,
well, no, I did it while
I'm just saying,
too.
like now you experience a lot more of it
Yes.
because now the kids are gone, the bills are kind of going down a little bit, you downsized a little bit.
We try.
I forgot because you're a spender.
Right.
I understand it. Yeah. Okay, y'all. All right. So this part, we're going to do a few rapid fire questions. It's fact or myth. Y'all can give a little explanation if you feel the need, but it'll just be fact or myth.
Okay.
All right. You should never go to bed angry.
Fact.
I'm gonna say myth, because we don't went to bed angry many a times. Our biggest thing now, though, is we're trying, like I said, trying to decrease the amount of time we stay angry with each other.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
It's gonna happen.
Fair enough.
Okay.
But you want to keep growing and get to that point where you don't go to bed angry at each other.
Okay. I can accept that. Okay. A good spouse will always know what you need without you saying it.
I say myth.
That's a myth.
I say myth.
That's like reading minds.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. If you're truly in love, marriage should be easy.
Myth. Nothing's easy about marriage.
Okay. Once you're married, your partner should be your best friend.
Myth.
Okay. Sex naturally slows down in a healthy marriage.
Facts.
Yes, facts.
Okay. Happy wife, happy life.
Myth.
Your spouse should always come before your family and friends.
Facts.
If someone cheats, the marriage is automatically over.
Myth.
Okay. Prenups are for people who don't believe in love.
Myth.
Okay. Marriage is 50-50.
Nope. Myth.
Okay. The man should always lead the relationship.
Facts.
I'm going to say myth.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you why I say myth. It's sort of like the 50-50 thing. Depends on what's going on in the marriage.
Okay.
It's situational.
I can see that.
Because you may have a time when you're depressed. You as a man
and she covering you.
She covering you. She got to stand up and cover you. So I know these are kind of yes or no, but that's my reason for saying myth, because it's situational.
Okay.
Marriage
kills romance.
Facts.
Oh yeah. Facts. You know, you think about it, because you get in the business of marriage and the kids and the family. It's boring and responsibility.
Okay.
But it depends on if you have a partner who understands she's boring too.
Yeah.
It's like this: cooking dinner at home because we can't go out for 3 months.
Right. Because we save the money.
And put some candles up.
Yeah.
That could be romantic.
Yeah.
That's that communication, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's that work part.
That's the work part,
marriage, right?
Yeah. All arguments are bad.
Myth.
Okay. Men aren't emotionally invested in marriage like women are.
Myth.
Yeah, myth.
You have to wait until everything in your life is perfect before getting married.
Myth.
Okay. Spending time apart is a sign something is wrong.
Myth.
Okay. If you're in the right marriage, you shouldn't have to work at it.
Myth.
Having kids brings you closer.
I believe myth.
Myth.
I can't
Because
speak on that one.
because
we
you
didn't have kids
hey
together.
because you should already be close
Yeah.
or working towards close. Your relationship with your kids are outside of your it's inside your marriage, but it's like outside your marriage.
Gotcha. Okay. Apologizing first makes you weak.
Myth.
Myth.
And last one, being married means sacrificing your freedom.
Facts.
Facts. Cause you
Big
can't
facts.
cause you can't do the hell you want to do.
No, you can't.
Hey, in your mind you may want to,
Yeah.
but that goes back to hey, this is what it is. But it has to be a conversation. It has to be a conversation before. But
Accountability is the big word.
ooh,
I'm accountable to my wife, and she's accountable to me.
ooh, you scam them.
And if you understand that in that but I will go as far as to say if I'm with a woman that I'm not married to, but I'm living with her,
Still accountable.
we're accountable to each other.
Because you're doing the same thing.
Yeah, because there was a time in this state, common law marriage was a thing. 6 months, you living together, you
Y'all
considered
married, for real.
That I understand that's gone away now, but it made sense. Because from my mom's generation, they'd be like, you shacking up. That's it. Right? Why you shacking up? But I think the thing is that accountability to me is the biggest part of a successful marriage. If the two of you are truly accountable to each other, all the other stuff that we talked about, it works itself out. Because you are doing those things. You're talking about finance, you're talking about raising kids, you're talking about where you live, and you're talking who's in your circle, right? It's that kind of thing. Like, I made a conscious decision. Every woman I dated prior to my wife, in terms of that I was in a relationship with, I have no contact with them now. Zero. Not because she requested it. It's because I chose to do it.
Yeah, because it's like I don't want to be married and still got another girlfriend.
No.
Because
No, not at all. So, yeah.
Okay, I appreciate y'all, brothers, and we gonna end it on this note. I am newly engaged, about to, cross. This is my time to be selfish with y'all two brothers who have crossed this threshold already. What advice would you give to me about to embark on that journey?
So you, bruh.
Communication is big. You got to communicate openly. And your feelings count too. A lot of times we internalize stuff and don't speak on what bothers us or what. We just take it and keep on going. But communication and just being open and transparent.
I would say certainly take in everything that we've talked about in this session. You get to hear it again when you're editing the video, right? But I would say require that you both value each other.
ooh,
Require it. It's a non-negotiable.
that's a good one.
Require that you both value each other. That will go a long way into a great relationship. Because if she feels like Lonnie values me, like he don't agree with me on everything, and that's okay, but he values me, and vice versa. Because one of the biggest complaints with men, not just black men,
They don't
about
value.
women don't show them any value. They don't feel like they're valued by the women that's in their lives. A lot of times you will have moments where you feel like the furniture. And I'm gonna tell you when that's gonna happen. The moment you have kids. Because she's gonna get into mother mode, not wife mode, mother mode. You're gonna want her to be in mother mode because that baby needs that.
Yeah.
But at some point, once she gets past postpartum and all of that stuff, she's now got to snap back, not only her body, but being wife, right? And so if you're doing little things now that you can keep consistent with, that show her how much you value her in your life. And I heard you say something earlier about your current wife, making you a better man. I feel the same way. I was a fucking Neanderthal back in the day. And I got a woman in my life who civilized me and helped me become, right? She helped me become. That's the advice. Be with a person who helps you become the person you don't even see yet. And let her be with a person who will help her become a person she doesn't see yet.
And the only way she can do that is if she values you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like she values you, it's like the conversations that you was talking about, because she values you, she'll listen to what you said and be like, okay. It won't be a pushback.
No.
It'll be like, okay. And if you value her, you understand what she's saying and say, okay. And in your mind, you don't have to talk about the compromise or whatever. In your mind, you be like, okay, I see what I can do better.
Yep.
I can explain it better here. I can work on it better here.
That's how I move too.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's how you move with everything in life.
Yeah.
And that's how men show their maturity. And a lot of us get married and not mature. And to your point, you say you got somebody that made you a better person, but you wasn't looking for someone to make you a better person. And that's the difference.
Yeah, I didn't go in requesting
because a
that.
lot of times we go in wanting somebody to fix us.
There it is.
Yeah.
There we go.
You ready, bro?
Hey,
You ready?
yeah.
You ain't got no choice now.
Yeah, I mean, and even I do agree with getting married younger is definitely better. I wish I would have taken that route more serious when I was younger, but I do feel like the place that I'm in now, mentally, spiritually, physically, just overall, I'm ready. My mindset is there. I've built my mental toughness. The discipline, even, you know, I'm not the most perfect person, but however, it's just something over time that you'll build on. So I do feel ready, and yeah, we you know, hopefully I can have a story of, you know, both of y'all lasting and going longer than we've been dating, and we literally at a point where our halfway point. So I told her, I was like, let's rock out till we 70.
I love it.
I love
35, so let's see if we can get 35 years together
Like, you can.
and do this
You
thing.
can. And see, and it's so crazy, man, because I never thought about it, all that now, but now, like, man, I wish I would have thought about that at that time. But it's okay. It's all about learning and growing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it also goes back to the elders in the community.
Yeah.
If you have a good community of elders and you're open to listening to
And a lot of us don't.
you're open to listening to older men and older women, right? Because I think you need to get advice from both sides. Then, you know, it helps shape how you look at what you're looking for in a partner, what you're seeing. You know, again, for me, it was always about building family and having a legacy. That was it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely important. I want to thank both of y'all brothers. Thank y'all so much. This has been another great episode. DC, Joe, thank y'all. I cannot say it enough. Havana Cigars, shout out to them for hosting this at their place. Make sure y'all check them out. The information will definitely be in the description down below. And if y'all have any questions, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Join the conversation. Anything that, you know, may have been unclear, you want a little more explanation of, you know what I'm saying? Maybe we can bring this back. This has been another episode of the March Madness. You know, Ted, you've been saying all of this stuff, so you got nothing but.
Hey, it's like, hey man, hey. I don't want to be right. I just want to give you the correct information.
Yeah.
I ain't here to be like, yeah, I told y'all. I'm here like this. I'm glad I had the mindset to listen to them.
Yep.
If I can tell you when you were younger to now.
Yep. Yep.
That's all I ever want.
Hey, man. Here we are, you know what I'm saying? Y'all got to literally see 271 episodes. Y'all got to see the progression of me as a man, and hopefully this goes to another younger man who may be in the same position or wants to get in this position and, you know, build a legacy, a name, a family, as they said earlier. But until the next time, I'm Comedian Lonnie.
And I'm the Flash.
We out.
Peace.